Okay, we're back. Time for another piano lesson, and this time we're going to do the song "Borne" by Goose, which is off their newer album Dripfield. I think it was the first single off that album. It's a really cool song. It's not too hard, and then when I went to go get one to play along with, the first thing that pops up on YouTube is like a 25-minute one. I skimmed through it real quick. I haven't dissected it at all, so if you want to learn the song, we're going to do that right up front, and you can get what you need and get on out. If you want to hang around and just work through the jam with us, we'll do it by ear, and that'll be a good time too. Obviously, that's going to push us from what could have been probably like a 10-minute video to being like a 30-minute video, but we'll have fun along the way. So the song itself is pretty simple. It's sort of in C major. And it starts with guitar stuff, but we're just going to kind of replicate everything on piano and just play through this as if we were doing kind of an acoustic piano arrangement. And so for starters, you have a C major chord and like C, E, G, and the voicing really matters with your right hand here. So we're going to go C, E, G, starting on middle C. And then I'm pulsing my left hand on C, mostly with my thumb on the C below middle C. I also have my pinky on the one below that, just sort of for good measure. But there's like a rhythm to it to get it to sound like what the guitar is doing to replicate that. So it's like... Takes a little practice, but you'll get it. Once you've got that down, that's the whole verse. So under all of the singing until you get to the chorus, that's the whole first verse. Whole second verse goes just like that. Is that enough? All that stuff. I don't know how many times it goes through, I haven't counted it out, but if you know the song, you know the feel. And when it turns to the chorus, you go from that C chord down to, move your left hand down to B flat. So this is like a C7, but it's over B flat. So you take the C from your thumb, take it down to B flat, take the C in your left hand down to B flat. So let me play that for you in context. And then that's going to an F major chord. We'll get to that in a second. B flat, and then it's the E and the G on top still, so it's a C7 over B flat. Now we resolve to an F major chord, F, A, and C. And you go back to C, and there's a little riff here. So let me walk back for 2 seconds. We got our C7 over B flat. We land on F. I'm not worn at all. C, and then the riff is C, B, E, G, and then B flat. And then it goes right back to F. And it goes up to G major, G, B, and D. Just what? And it goes back down to F, F, A, C. We were born to be. And now you're into the second verse. So it does this for a long time again. So you repeat that whole sequence. So you have your verse over that C, and then that A minor over C thing. Did I not explain that properly the first time? I'm embarrassed if I didn't. So you have the C, E, G, and I was talking about the rhythm, and then that pop-up chord, you move the G up to an A. So you're just going back and forth between the C, E, G, C major chord, and then C, E, A, which is an A minor over C chord. Because the left hand just stays on C the whole time. So you go through the next verse, you go through that whole chorus again. All that stuff. And then you get back to your C and your A out of the chorus. Let me play through that quick. And then it goes to this bridge section, which is also just kind of the outro from the structured part of the song. And the C it just kind of hits on the C. There's a drum fill, and it drops to A flat. Let me walk you through those chords. So that's A flat, which is A flat, C, and E. A flat with your left hand, and then it's an E flat major chord, which is E flat, G, and B flat, and then that goes to B flat minor, B flat, D flat, and F, and that goes to an F minor, F, A minor, and C, and then it turning around, it goes back down to that E flat major chord, E flat, G, and B. So it goes through that 3 times. Does that 3 times, and then on the last one you keep going down to C sharp major, C sharp, F, and A flat. Someday I will lay my head down. Someday. So it's A flat, C and E. Someday, E flat, G, and B flat. I will lay my head down. And then it's a C sharp minor, C sharp major, C sharp, F, and A flat. It just does those 3 over and over. And that's the launching point into the jam. And your sort of center point for improvising on this is an A flat major scale. So it's like A flat, B flat, C, C sharp, E flat, F, G, and A flat. Yeah, I don't spend a lot of time in this key. And so when you're working on those chords, and so you're just working in that space. There's no real tricks to it. It's just sort of pretty jamming. The one we're going to work on goes out there, and we'll go out there with it, and we'll talk about how we do it in that part. But the song just kind of trails out from there, and so that is the song part. And now we're going to play along with it and do the jam, and we'll talk along with that. So I'll see you on the other side. All right, here we go. We're going to jam along with the Borne. I can't even remember when this is from. It's recent. It's from this year. I think it's from June, I want to say. June 22nd, maybe. But we'll see. So we got our C up to the A minor over the C. We're going to be here for a little while. A lot of the times with chord inversions, it doesn't matter where you put them. But this one, if you change the way these chords are placed, it really doesn't sound right. So you got to go C, E, G, coming up from middle C, and then C, E, A. How's that riff? Back to F. Up to G. Then we go back down to F. And now we're back to R, C, and then our A minor over C. C7 over B flat down to F. F. And on that F, I'm coming up to the G note every once in a while just to do something else with it. Now G major chord, back down to F. Back to that C pattern. We're going to turn into that outro bridge in a minute. Here comes the A flat, E flat, and then it's a B flat minor, F minor, E flat, A flat again, E flat again, B flat minor, and then it's that F minor down to E flat. Same thing one more time. And now we land on C sharp, F and G sharp, A flat, E flat major, and then C sharp major again. And now we're in that pattern of going just from the A flat to E flat, C sharp. And now we're just coasting with that as our starting point as we move our way out. And remember, you can use sort of an A flat major scale as your improvisational starting point. Sometimes it's hard playing with these bands that have jammed together so much because they've been jumping the one, making it a little bit hard to place every once in a while on these changes. This is guitar solo, keeping the chord progression. You can just, arpeggiate it, make it pretty on piano. banging together while also messing with where these chords hit a little bit between the drums and what everyone else is doing. It's kind of interesting. And I'm taking off somewhere else. Let's find it. Sounds like G minor. And I just got lucky. I used my ear and play some notes, and you're like, oh, those seem right, and they kind of have a G minor vibe, and so let's go with that. And also, when you do this a lot, you can find, pretty quickly, when I play that B flat, I'm like, that sounds like the third here. Actually, it might be in C minor now that I'm listening to it. Let's go with that. But the G minor and the C minor have a lot in common with them as far as the notes, so sometimes it's easy to get confused as to which scale it's going to be. And if you're using your ear and you're playing notes and you're like, that one sounds right, that one doesn't, that one sounds right, that one doesn't, and you find a group of notes that seem right, just go with those, and then it'll sort of become clear to you the longer you hang with it, what might be happening as to what key you're in or whatever. And ideally, you're doing this with bandmates you've had for a while, you know each other's patterns, you're communicating possibly, maybe not, maybe you're just riding along with guys like this. And, playing with a recording's different too, because nobody can respond to what you're doing. You're just kind of practicing against it, and that's what we're doing, which is super fun, but there's no substitute for the real thing. So I'm using like a C minor, which is just like a C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, and C. And just playing around with those notes. Peter, with that synthesizer thing, is playing around with this G, C, D, G, like up and down a little bit. And once you have those notes to work with, there's a lot you can do here. I don't know where all my synthesizers are in this thing, so I'm not even going to mess with it, but if you have your synthesizers handy, get into it. And I'm just finding little shapes on those C minor notes. And sometimes it's fun, you gotta think of, motifs and ideas to throw around. And it can also spice up playing with a recording like this, because you can add a new layer and build something new out of these jams, which is a really cool exercise. And they're just in sort of meditative mode, making a vibe on this, and I'm overplaying because it's a recording and because we're talking about what notes to use. And I want you to see my hands as I'm moving around this scale. But in a live setting with a band like this, you want to keep it chill, just ride along. The drums aren't doing a lot, nothing's really happened yet, so you can keep it spacey with these octave type things, G to G with the C and D in the middle. Octaves starting on the 5th of the scale you're on, with the root and the 9th in the middle, are so useful. But beyond just running up and down scales, which is all well and good, try to think of melodies and repeating patterns that you can move, you know, maybe down like. That can be good starting points, or take jumps and then fill in the gaps. To break up that repetitive type scale playing. And Rick's playing off of that B flat, the 7th note, which is probably opening a door to take it funky if they wanted to. Doesn't sound like they're going there quite yet. I'm gonna move to an electric piano because that's the vibe here. And I like this one. It's kind of watery. It's got a chorus on it and a little bit of overdrive. Now they are getting funky. Still that C minor, same scale ideas. But to me, when you have that B flat, that 7th note, and then you take it down to the A, which implies the 4 chord of the F, that's where you're starting to get funky. So the B flat down to A. Gently funky. We're still just hanging in that C minor vibe. Peter, it sounds like he's playing off of this like G, D, and C type thing. Actually, with a very similar sound to this one. Sounds like he's got some delay on his too. We've gone from funky to spacey in a hurry. I'm just gonna keep that going for a little while. When you got something that's repeating for a while like this, you can play with it, find little ways to. There they go. I'm going back to acoustic piano on this. And they're still playing with this funky idea of going like a C minor to the F major 7. It's not quite there, but they're kind of hinting at that. Which is like super basic jam pattern, like the most fun stuff to play in a band usually. 1 to 4. I'm gonna stay away from that F because it's more aggressive than what they're doing. I don't want to listen. Peter's still on that electric piano. Another great way to tread water when you either don't know what's happening or you're waiting for something to happen is just use the 1 and the 5. And I'm taking a C major. Nope, it's something else. F major. There it is. I knew it was major. That's a really smooth modulation. Very nice. Usually the bass is kind of leading what happens there. Other instruments can lean into it, but the modulation doesn't really happen until the bass goes for it. Now that we're in that major sound, you can take that F major chord, pop up to the 4 chord with the B flat and the D, because the B flat major chord is the 4 chord of F, which gives you a nice vamp. Another good trick here is to use the relative minor of F major, which is D minor for a pentatonic scale that lets you get around in F major, which is D, F, G, A, and C. Sort of straight cheesing it on the 1 to 4 as the bass is starting to move to that B flat too. I'm sort of, the bass is hinting at this, I'm not sure how explicit it is. I'm going upscale tones like F, G, A, B flat, like an F major scale, sort of as my root chords in succession. Which is another way to add some color to that 1 to 4 progression. Is still that F to B flat, but I'm adding a little in the middle. But you can always revert it back. Stay on this for a while and just keep building it bigger. So that scale climbing works really well with tension building, and then you have your 5, 1, 9, 5 octaves, so when you get high up there you can piano's great for building this stuff, and like when it gets to like turnaround time, you can just keep going up. So it's the F and the B flat. Make those climbing type moves, and you just try not to get lost in your timing, and with practice you get better and better at it. A good drummer helps a lot too. pounding chords at this point. You can also arpeggiate it. Nice little jam. Now Rick's just running the major scale. There you go. You just ended in F major. It's not where we started. It was a lovely place to end up. I think that's all we got. That's a cool song, and that was a really cool jam. I'm glad we checked it out. Again, the song is short. If you stuck it out this long, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're interested in learning how to jam. The song was pretty easy. And the jamming stuff is interesting because a lot of the times it's not that complicated from a music theory perspective. What's complicated is your on-the-spot decision-making process about what to do in any given situation. And that can be, it can take a long time to develop, and you never stop learning it as far as making decisions when you're in this just like F to B flat, and you're just doing that for, I don't know how many minutes that was. It was a long time. And how to keep it interesting. And so, and how you build tension and how you release tension, while keeping the chord progression intact and, not overcomplicating things, not drawing too much attention to yourself, not stepping on people's toes, drawing attention to yourself when it's appropriate, adding fills. So to some degree, I try to talk you all through that as we work through it. I also am just trying to, make sure that my hands are pretty visible here. And y'all can slow the videos down and take a look at it. And I hope it's helpful to you. If it is or is not, please shoot me a comment. I love to hear from you guys. And more videos are coming. If there's any songs you want, let me know and we'll do them. And I'll see you at the next lesson. All right, take it easy.